Hey, hello my YouTube friends. If wondering, I haven't been doing videos for quite a while because I had some issues with a domestic helper in Hong Kong, and I just want to do a video on domestic helpers. It's really sad in a way that they already get a pretty low salary in Hong Kong. For example, they only get like $4,680. So you guys convert that to US. Which is pretty low. And there's one old nanny that works for me, and she's been having a lot of issues, but nobody's been, she hasn't been telling me or seeing what's happening to her at all. But so she called and says, is that legal? Is it right? And many factors. Is the boss being really nasty, being mean to her, as a worker. So this little video, I'm just going to tell you what has happened last week, and I'm just trying to, give her more confidence and don't be afraid of the boss if you stand your ground. I'm not saying doing anything not right or against, her will or anything, but when you work in Hong Kong, there's a 2-year contract, and you have to obey the contract, both the employer and the worker. So like maybe she gets I think $500 something for a month. So that's pretty low comparing North America, of course. But things are a lot cheaper in the Philippines and Indonesia, which is okay. But there are in Hong Kong populations around 7 million. Lots of people have left Hong Kong, by the way. Like the people, you can get a BNO passport, work over there for 5 years. They give you permanent residence. Or in Canada, you go study there for 2 years and they give you a permanent residence. Same in Australia. So now many countries are offering the younger generation Hong Kongers many opportunities to leave Hong Kong. And the domestic helpers here, the population is around 360,000 Filipino and Indonesian maids here. But a lot of people don't treat them right, which isn't good. And for example, like the nanny worked for $500 a month US. But the thing is, your employer is supposed to provide food for you to eat, right? And boarding. So the rule is you must board. You must stay at the house when you are a domestic helper. So every night you must sleep in your room, in the domestic helpers, at her designated room at home. So basically, they are fighting for it. They say, can't we live in a boarding house or somewhere, not living at the same household? Because some would abuse them and be like on call 24/7, and they would have no privacy at all, which is bad, right? So they are trying to always fight, like, can we not stay in a home? Because lots of them will work for, like, it's pretty normal to work for 12 hours a day, and it's sad. So for example, her food allowance, she doesn't get any, so it's just the basic pay, and she has to go out of the pocket to pay for the food allowance. And the thing is, Filipinos don't necessarily eat the food that the family is eating, right? So it's not to their tasting, and it's very hard to eat their food too. So I think it's both ways they have to deal with it. And this nanny is really sad because she's already been suffering for like a year and a half, over a year and a half, and she doesn't get fed. She has to buy her own food basically. The only thing I think she gets fed is the rice, which is it, and she has to go and buy the groceries herself. But the thing is, when she came to Hong Kong with this contract, she's supposed to work for 4 people at a household, so it's in the contract. But now she's working for 9 people in the household, plus friends and family come over, so there'll be a lot of people to eat. So she would start cooking like 3 times a day, non-stop. Dishes would be washing non-stop every day, and still have to clean the house and everything. So that's not in the contract, but they have been, she's been saying, oh, okay, it's okay, I'll get the job done, I can rest and all that. But the thing is really bad is during the holidays, she would say, "Oh, my children's not vaccinated. Just stay in your room. Don't take your holiday in case you catch the COVID or something like that." So most, like 80% of the time, she's not allowed to go on her break or holiday. So usually you get 1 day off working in Hong Kong, plus public holidays. So usually all the public holidays and her day off, she won't be allowed to go for a break. And the thing is, when she goes, she say, "Oh, it's okay, you just stay in the room," and she won't get paid for her holiday. So basically, it's pretty, she will be working during her holidays. Like the grandma would say, "Oh, can you clean the dishes, help me out, blah, blah." So she'll end up working anyway. But the boss lady says, "Oh, you don't have to work." But there's so much stuff, they'll say, "Oh, can you give me a hand," and all that. So that's been happening. And this is one of the things. She's using COVID as a weapon and not letting her go out of the house and having her work. And it's just too much. So, and then she's threatening her, says, if you take your holiday, there's a 25,000 fine, a jail imprisonment and stuff like that. Just always threaten her. Says, if you don't come back by what time, we'll call the police on you, have you deported. And what's the point working if you don't enjoy the job and being threatened every day, right? That really, that really sucks. So I told, I met her at the police station, and we talked to the police, and the police said, actually, there's a lot of cases, it's pretty common, no big deal, And just before we went in, the other maid came, she's Indonesian, came crying in the police station because they would give them expired food to eat. They would give them moldy bread and all the food they finish, like leftovers. I mean, not leftovers from the plate. Leftovers like when you eat chicken, like finish off the bone and just give you scrap and to eat, and moldy bread and expiry food. How can you treat somebody that lives at your home, your household, and helps you every day? So a lot of these things has been going on, and I think it's just terrible. If I have, my nannies, I never treat them like that. If they work hard, they do a good job, I just buy them some food outside just for a treat, That's how everybody does it, right? If you have a heart. But this is just, and I don't believe it's gone for a year and 8 months. And, just living under constant threat, no food to eat, just working for like 9 people in a household, and friends, end up 20 people coming in and just keep on working. And now the latest is the family's caught the COVID, and I asked her, if the family has COVID, you don't have to stay at the place, You go outside to a boarding house and stay outside, If you don't have money, I'll give you some money to stay there. Because if like most of the family members have COVID, why do you want to stay in the household and keep working in front of the people infected? So you get infected too. But the thing is, if you get infected too, you have to report to the health department, and your QR code becomes red. So if your QR code becomes red, you can't go anywhere. Because nowadays you go to any establishment, go to a restaurant, everything you have to scan, and when it scans your QR code, it will have a red sign. And when the vendors shops see you with a red sign, they'll refuse service. So now currently she's living in a boarding house, and she's feeling guilty, but I don't think there's anything to be feel guilty of, because you're just fighting for your rights, and it's not right that you have to face the people with COVID at home and be forced to work against your will. And I told her, doesn't matter this week, let them get cleared of the COVID, and then everybody's clear, and then you could go back to work. Don't worry about the week's salary, that you're missing out, or boarding house fees, expenses, I'll take care of it. It's not much, but it will just give her a peace of mind and not living under threat. So to protect her now, she has a police report number, so it's all recorded what happened, how the boss has treated her, and they still threatening her. But she sent a message saying that already, the police advised her to stay out until you guys are, clear of COVID. So after she sent the message, she hasn't heard from the boss at all. So I think they got the message. It's just taking it too far. And I'm not being, I don't want to be a stereotype or anything, but these people are from mainland China, and that's a lot of mainland China people. They're different culture, and some are good apples, some are bad apples, and for sure these are the bad apples. You can't have somebody working for you, to be constantly threatened, and that's not the way you do it. Even though sometimes she takes the holiday, she has to rush back at home at 6 o'clock and then clean up the whole house, clean up like 50 plates, clean up the kitchen before she can take a shower and rest for the day. So that's really unthought of. And then something so weird, when I catch the bus and something like that, and I talk to the Filipina or something, and say, oh yeah, how you doing? How's your day? And then at the end she would say, oh, you're so nice, you talk to me. I say, why? What's wrong? She said, usually, when in Hong Kong, the local people don't talk to us. I don't know why, but you're really friendly and stuff like that. So sometimes I might think there's maybe a language barrier or anything, but I don't know, do they look down on the helpers or not? But it's just, when you're in this world, you just have to be respectful, for one another. That's what I feel. Yeah, so this week has been pretty busy because I had to find the labor department. I have to look for the NGOs that protect them, and just to know my information before I tell her to take any action, right? So you have to do all this thing really safely, and I hope she understands that that's her basic right, to work as a helper, overseas. And they don't see their family at all, and separated for the 2 years. They have their hardship too. Sometimes you just have to consider the situation that they are in. So anyway, thank you very much for watching this video, but I just had to tell you what has been going on. Thank you my Patreons for supporting my channel. You guys are awesome. So at the back here is the middle of Central, very busy place. And I'm at the Worldwide House again. That's where all the Filipinas here, but that's where I catch my bus here. So I just decided to make a video here. So thank you. Like, subscribe my channel, please do. Check out my Facebook, Instagram. Take care, guys. Bye.